Hello and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm here with one of my favorite bands, Present Company. Christian and Eddie, I'll have you each introduce yourselves because then people who are just listening will associate the voice with the name.
Okay. Well, I'm Christian, Christian Nelson, and I go by he, they, she, and I am co-lead everything with Ed in the band. Take it away, Ed.
I'm Eddie Chisholm. I go by he, him. I don't know if anyone will be able to tell us apart, but best of luck, everyone.
But yes. And I'm just going to jump into it because I'm so super excited. You guys, thank you so much for talking with me today because you have a big night.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, we're so excited.
Yeah.
Lots of anticipation for tonight. Yes.
You've got the album released tonight at the entry.
Mhm.
And we might as well get the details out right away. What are the details for that? What time do you guys start? And
So the doors are at 7. Show starts at 8. It'll be Emma Jean, then Keep for Cheap, then us. So I think we're playing around 10, but we really want people to show up for the openers. They're amazing. It's an amazing, really fun bill tonight, and it's only 3 bands, so that's awesome. It's at 7th Street Entry, like you said, and I think that's all the details, right, Christian?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot of fun. You're just gonna have to show up and see if you want to see all the cool stage things that we're gonna do, and I guess that is all the information. Our album came out a couple weeks ago, so you can
listen to that in preparation.
well, I remember the first time that I had seen your videos, we had chatted before I ever saw you live. Thanks to the beauty of COVID, we chatted before I saw you live, how that goes. And I love this will spin around in 2 different directions, but I love your videos and you know that. So I went and I was like, God, I hope they're as good as their videos. When you walk into someplace and you have some expectation. And I walked in and seeing you guys on stage I was like, well, I think that's them. You're so different, but it was an amazing show. I was like, oh, I might love this more because you guys really do a production.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, that's so nice.
We
really care about our live shows, and they're sort of an extension of who we are as people. So we just really love the opportunity to get to show that side of ourselves to people.
Yeah, I'd say sometimes in our videos we tend to be a little goofy and just like having a little more fun, but when it's time for the live performance, we really dig deep into our emotions. So it is a little bit different of a tone.
Well, is there anything you'll do special today to get ready for it? I know getting up early for an interview, that was probably top of the list. You're on your wish list right there.
Oh, I was already up. We were picking flowers
I was
this morning.
Just drowsy.
Picking flowers for the show this morning. We're gonna be putting a bunch of them up on stage.
Nice.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that our day is pretty full of just being at the venue and kind of waiting and things like that. But yeah, we're hoping people are excited about the setup that we do on stage and stuff like that.
Yes, we're a little more intricate this time around with all the details. We've switched up our live technology, our rig and stuff. So we're thinking of enhancing the fluidity of the show.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm super excited. I would look forward to that. The idea of live flowers on stage, that sounds great.
Yeah. We like flowers. We like flowers a lot.
Yeah, we love flowers.
That's good. Well, and that kind of transitions to we just premiered your video. For what you wanted. Yes. I have to tell you, we premiered it. It was either the day before, the day of, or the day after it. And I went to there were a bunch of musicians rehearsing for a show. I showed up. 3 of them came up and said, that video you posted the other day, you must be getting, what is the response been? Because people I didn't know knew who I were talking to me about your video.
Oh my goodness.
That's really cool. Well, people seem to really like the Little House on the Prairie vibe. I think it helps that it's sort of a local, local legend. Christian can probably talk more about it.
I can talk more about this. Yes, I grew up on that show, and when we were practicing one day, Seth said that that song sounded like the theme song for Little House on the Prairie, and that if we wanted, he would dress up as Grace. And I said absolutely. So everyone, that was pretty much me forcing everyone to get out in the field and frolic for a while. So it was a lot of fun to shoot.
Because you're kind of creepily close to what the video trailer for the show was.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, we kind of watched it beforehand, and we just tried to do some of the same shots, except for instead of the carriage, we had the van, but we tried to get Baron to look as much like Pa as possible, and we think he pulled that off. And I think the dresses were pretty period accurate, not perfect, but
pretty close. I really liked the dress that we had on.
Yeah, the matching,
very detailed. Yeah.
I think it was fantastic. And as the folks who are coming up to me are probably, closer to my age. I can remember when you'd wait every Monday for the new episode on the TV because it was one of 4 channels you could watch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. We were just watching it the other day
on TPT or whatever it was on.
Yeah, PBS or whatever.
PBS.
We were just watching it the other day, and it holds up.
Yeah, there's some great writing in that show. Yeah.
I see it. Yeah, I always think of Nellie. That mean little Nellie.
That brat.
That brat.
Sometimes that's my nickname.
I just think the video is so striking, and you guys always do striking videos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we try. We definitely try to make it as striking as possible, especially with the one before this one with our space video. That one was kind of crazy.
That's good too.
It's like us coming out of hibernation from that first phase of pushing everything. Yeah,
right.
Taking that all to outer space was very intense shooting. Lots of sets and stuff. This one was a lot more fun. We just got to run around in a prairie.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, and then the whole album. I mean, you've got 15 songs on this album.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
Do you know what I'm glad that I asked that because, well, on SoundCloud you have What You Wanted listed twice. I don't know if you have 2 versions of it.
Oh, well, thank you.
There you go. There's a little Easter egg for you. Yeah, because I was listening. I'm like, are they different? Am I missing something? Okay, so
they should be the same.
They were. I mean, when I feel like I'm failing a test where I'm like, I don't hear the difference. I don't know if it's about me, but yeah. But I
would have done that too.
I love the whole transition of it because it seems like you're talking about so much, singing about so much, about kind of the world that we've just come out of. And what I love about your music is sometimes I'm not sure if you're talking about riffs in society or riffs in more personal relationships.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing to hear because I think that we start from a personal place. And I think that if anybody can relate to that, and think of it as like society or even relate to it personally, that's really amazing because we just kind of write this stuff for ourselves and just kind of based on what we're going through. And yeah, if anybody else can kind of pick up on that, and if there's some sort of wider meaning to that, that's pretty cool. So
yeah, we like to write songs that have small scale and large scale applications.
I think of a song like It's Not Looking Good. To me, that seemed very much societal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That one was actually very much a personal relationship, but I was kind of
didn't I? Damn it.
I was still in that relationship. So, and that was a long time ago that I wrote that song now. So,
when we're writing
me.
a song, I'll let Christian continue. But when we're writing a song, it's ours, and then but when we put it out, it's everybody else's. So your interpretation of society, like that was my same interpretation. Like Christian was writing it, it's personal, it's about his relationship. But when I hear that song, I'm like seeing like the Capitol riots, and I'm seeing COVID, and I'm seeing, it's like it totally, like it feels like it's not looking good for us, it feels
looking
like,
good. It's not looking good. Yeah.
So it is, it's for you, and it's for you to interpret. And but yeah, it's also was definitely a personal song for Christian.
I think it started like the verse 1 is like definitely a little more directed toward COVID and that world we were living in, and then verse 2 is definitely more my personal relationship that I was going through at the time, and then I kind of wrapped it up at the end, going back even further with like my upbringing and my parents and stuff, and changing my whole ideology. So yeah, I kind of go through journeys on songs, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like the whole album, as I said, feels like a journey, because the one that I thought was it's Something's Not Right. It's so funny because I think about the titles are so similar, but Something's Not Right. To me, that one felt just a lot more personal.
Yeah, that was the last one I wrote lyrically. And I was out of the relationship at that point, so I could speak a little more honestly on how I was feeling. That last little bit of anger and frustration and disappointment all came out, piling out in that one. Yeah.
It's be cathartic though to write it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a nice time that I just got to kind of sit down with a notebook, and I had written some very generic lyrics before, and I just took like a hatchet to it and made it very poignant.
Some poignant cuts.
Yeah, lots of poignant cuts. Lots of those.
Well, and then the song that I think that I'll listen to most again is, so when you listen to something, some things you like, some songs you immediately like, oh, I like that song, and then some you think, I'm going to listen to this one a whole bunch. I'm not sure. It's not that I'm on the fence, but I'm like, I got to listen to this one a whole bunch more before it.
Yeah.
Is Dead Plants.
Oh yeah.
Well, honestly, grateful that you are willing to put in the time to to maybe appreciate one a little bit more after some listens. Yeah, that was one of the first songs we wrote for the record. It always kind of felt like the last song on the album. Yeah, that one for me was definitely an emotional one to write. It just kind of felt like a combination of like these last 2 years, hardships in family relationships, and personal relationships, and then just sort of, but more than that, just like looking at myself and being like, I don't even know who I am. And so that was really, that song, I felt like it was one of the first times where I felt like I was kind of able to encapsulate that. And then at the end, I'm sort of begging like for someone to tell me why I'm here.
Yeah.
But that song is sort of my summation of like the last 2 years, which it kind of makes it nice for like a summary of the album, almost like sitting there at the end of it all. So
yeah, and I feel a personal relationship with that song toward the end, when it's Someone Tell Me Why I'm Here Now. It's like, it's kind of the question we've been searching for since we got out of our religion. So what's the purpose? And then that kind of manifested itself and losing our faith kind of, at least for me, it kind of manifested itself in my marriage. And so when that was finally resolved, it was like the last piece of losing my faith. So someone tell me why I'm here now just really resonates.
Totally. And thank you.
Well, I might ask you to talk just a little bit more about that too. I mean, you touch upon a lot, something larger. Because losing your faith that's a big deal. I mean, that's.
Oh, absolutely. It was kind of a slow process, though.
I think that a lot of our songs, even on the first album, like there's definitely a massive identity struggle, faith-wise, personal-wise, that kind of comes, that definitely stemmed from that. I just think that it's it's a process and it's a journey, and there's just so much that you need to like fill, and there's so much like meaning that was given to you as like a kid, and you have to kind of figure out like, okay, now what is this all about? And I think that it just like bleeds into like almost every aspect of your life. And a lot of times we're just trying to grapple with that and a lot of different facets, and with a lot of different emotions. So I feel like it's almost touched every song in some kind of way.
yeah, definitely, at least for me.
Because that makes me, excuse me. I was just talking with a friend of mine who's may or may not have kids sometime soon, and he was brought up quite religious, and he was quite religious and is Jewish, and he was asking me, and I was when I said brought up quite religious, that meant I went to Catholic schools. We weren't very super, but I did go to Catholic schools forever, and I thought, and I have kids, and they went to Catholic schools. They went to Catholic schools more than they went to Catholic church. I'll say that right now. But I think that being brought up with the structure of a religion is helpful, even if you don't stay with that religion, because it does give you a frame. It gives you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that there's some like quality teachings. And then there's just like the horrible fumbling of our society, of all of it pretty much. And like, not all of it is good, but like there's definitely some like, love your neighbor,
right,
love the stranger, like stuff like that. Just I think that there's plenty of things that I think helped as like a framework for life. But
and I have like such a unique perspective on love and like goodness that has come from that, and I think that's a huge positive, because I think I've been able to stay like a very happy, cheery person because I was brought up by a person who believed in unconditional love. But the flip side of that was that at least my family was absolutist and had zero open-minded opinions, no faltering from specific ideology. So when there was a different ideology, it was met with a lot of adversity, and that has come out a lot in especially this album.
And you say that because there are times when I listen to some of the music that I think the beat, the tempo is the sugar coating for some of the lyrics and some of the feeling. It's very much. Yeah, I mean, and it makes the medicine go down.
You're killing this interview. This is so nice. I mean, this is a little depthier than we're used to. Wow, what a 10 a.m. pleasant surprise. This is so nice.
Yeah,
for sure. I think that the music accompanying the lyrics has two major roles, maybe three for us. I think one is contrast. A lot of times the opposite musically is happening to what lyrically is happening. I think, and then support would be the second one. And then I also just think that sometimes there's some music theory going on that me and Christian don't truly understand, but that actually makes you like feel something like emotionally. And a lot of times that is another way that it supports the lyrics. But yeah, Christian can probably say more about that.
Yeah, that's pretty good way to sum it up. The contrast of we like sad, energetic music, which doesn't necessarily go together. Melancholy and energy. Yeah, not the best partners, but we like to party, and we also are sad about a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
I think bands that do it really well, like The National, have the most devastating lyrics, but it can get really groovy and juicy with their sounds. And same with like LCD Sound System with like It's Us Against the Man,
Joy Division,
like The World's Falling Apart. Yeah, Joy Division. Like all these bands get really thumpy and like you want to move and dance, but you're also hearing like these woes, which gives you a certain vibe.
It is. Well, it's funny because as I listen to it, I think of From Prickly, and that feels, because I listened to this Allison album, that felt like a huge crescendo of a song.
Mm-hmm.
And then to shift from that into Forever feels like a breakthrough song. I mean, there you do get a very distinct, whether I'm getting the right feelings or not. Strong feelings are, and sometimes they're.
That's good.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's the contrast, and sometimes they're like, oh, that's. I remember someone talking to me about sound, and you can put speakers a certain way so that you can hear the vibrations just barely, and so that will bring feelings that you're unaware of. And sometimes the music feels like that, where it's, oh yeah, this is, as you say, this is some sneaky music theory that's making me feel like I'm supposed to cry at this part of the movie, you know?
Yeah, totally. I really like that. I haven't really, like, we tried really hard to make this album like cohesive, like transition wise, but that was something I haven't really thought of, is that Prickly, it has like this crescendo where Christian's sort of coming out of this, all of this like pent up emotion that happened earlier in the song. And then Forever does, like you were saying, it kind of does feel like a release, and it feels like it feels like it's almost realized, and maybe it lines up with the music like a little bit more. I like that. I don't know.
I'd like to shout out King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for making it possible to write an 18-minute song that crescendos the entire time. I owe all of Prickly to that music ideology.
Wow, cool.
We think them too then.
Yeah.
Well, it's now kind of to get back. Yeah, I mean, I will listen to this again and again. The Dead Plants, I mean, there were just, what was the one? There was something about, and Hold Me, I think, standing in your bed sit. And I will tell you, that's the kind of thing that I like immediately in a song. And maybe that's not even the words, but I'm like, standing in your bed sit. I like that.
Hold Me. Yeah, Hold Me is probably my favorite on this album. When Ed showed that one to me, I was like, wow, you really dug into your inner vulnerabilities.
I love Hold Me. I just like it that I'm talking about my own song, which is a little weird, but I do like that it like starts out sort of more of a classic love song, and then the ending, it kind of gets a little bit more scrutinizing, but at the end then it's like I still, like you still want them to hold you. Like, I don't know. It's I don't know. I like that one. That one just gives me the feels. The warm feels.
A lot of the music does.
I like that lyric from Ed when he said, when the sun burns out, I'll be there. Like at the end of time. That's such a sweet line.
That's a good one. I know it's very, you know, there are so many tinges of it being a love song, whether it's a love song towards a people or a way of life or living.
Yeah, it's a love song. But I didn't want it to just be I don't know if I'm capable of writing like a straight up love song. I wanted it to be an honest love song, and I wanted it to include the aspects of love that are a little harder to.
The scary side. We love the scary side of things. Well, at least getting them out there instead of keeping them cooped up. We like to
expressing them a little
it's like
bit.
the only time you're allowed to really get vulnerable. It's very therapeutic to sing like this and write lyrics like this.
And it's therapeutic to listen to him too. I mean, it's, you know, when you see bits and pieces of how you've felt at times in a different song, you're like, okay, that's I feel
exactly
better.
Yeah.
It's not just
I'm not alone.
Exactly.
Well, that makes us not feel alone, like
well,
hearing
that's good.
that there's like a little bit of a shared feeling with it. It's really nice.
Yeah,
I think music at its best, that's what it does. It can bring you together at levels that are, so whether it's about society or whether it's about change in relationships and all the things.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to hear all about tonight, right?
Absolutely.
Flowers on top.
Flowers on top.
Flowers on top. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that'll be good. I am planning to go to the show. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, it should be a fun show.
Looking to see you there.
Lots of people. Gonna be a really aggressive pit in there.
Oh geez.
Awesome. That'll be good. Well, let's remind folks when it is and where it is and
okay. It's at 7th Street Entry. It's the beautiful, intimate venue attached to the legendary First Avenue. You will see the stars as you walk in on the side of the building. You will enter possibly at 7 o'clock when the doors open, but the show starts at 8. Emma Jean, Keep for Cheap, Then Us. 7th Street Entry.
all right. Great. Thank
we
you.
will have
Thank
CDs
you.
and shirts.
Oh, CDs,
CDs and shirts. And we have really awesome tarot card stickers
with all of our faces.
Nice. Yeah. So I can't wait to see those. All right. Christian, Eddie, thank you for your time. I am looking forward tonight, and I've enjoyed this album, and I always enjoy the videos. So
yeah, thank you.
We
so
really
much,
appreciate this interview.
You're our favorite interviewer.
Yes.
Thank you.